We are going to discuss about a very unique individual. His name is President Joseph Kabila. He's so unique that you'll think that what we are going to discuss today is fiction, but it is true. He is not his father's son, and being a Rwandese, he was the president of Zaire. Confusing. He is not a son of his father, and he was a president of Zaire while he is a Rwandese. But before we start, a few words in Congolese language of Lingala. Sango nini? Sango malamu bandeko nangai, bandeko ya basi to bandeko ya mibale. Lelo toko loba maloba ya President na biso ya kala, President Kabila. Merci. Starting with his father, President Kabila Jr., his father, biological father, was a Rwandese, and his biological mother was a Rwandese. When his biological father died, his mother was inherited by her in-law. If you are a Luhya, you understand. Now her in-law, who inherited her, was half Zairian and half Rwandese. Her brother-in-law who inherited her was President Laurent Desire Kabila. President Laurent Desire Kabila was a son of Aluba, Muluba, that is a Zairian from the tribe of Luba. And his mother was a Rwandese. So, a cousin of his from his mother's side died, and he inherited her. After inheriting her, he decided to name her children with her late husband after him. So that is one of the children was Joseph Kabila. So he was named Kabila after his father. And Laurent Kabila, being anti-Mobutu Sese Seko, had to flee and stay in exile. He partly stayed in Nairobi because he was personally known to Fred Obachi Machoka wa Roga Roga. But most of the time he spent his life in Dar es Salaam. That is where President Joseph Kabila Jr. grew up and is very fluent in the Tanzanian Swahili, Dar es Salaam Swahili. As he was growing up, and you know the life of a refugee, how it is, there is a musician commonly known as General Difau Matumuna. General Matumuna used to entertain people in Dar es Salaam. He got a lot of free cash and decided to buy a vehicle. He bought a car and started using it. But Kabila Jr., being jobless, approached him to employ him as a taxi driver. The proper word is not that he employed him. There is usually this arrangement where you have a vehicle. In the evening, a young man comes, uses it throughout the night, and pays you a fixed amount. Whether he will get 0 or get 1,000,000, that day he has been away, he'll pay you so much. That is the arrangement between Joseph Kabila and General Defau Matumuna. So they continued that way, and then someday, out of the blues, without any notice, without any provocation, without anything explainable, Matumuna just told Kabila that you will no longer use my vehicle as a taxi. Joseph Kabila begged Matumuna to at least bear with him, understand, unajua mashida, nini. He just said, I've made a decision. Him and the father, kuna makosa huyu mtoto alifanya amani. And I said, no, I just feel he should not use my vehicle. That's all. I don't need to have an excuse. So, with that, Joseph Kabila left that place crying. Kasema Mungu ataona na nitakulipa siku moja. Kwa hiyo dhambi umenifanyia, Mungu atakulipa na mimi nitakulipa. So they parted ways, especially when General Defau Matumuna moved to Nairobi to sing songs such as Salanoki. Salanoki means fanya haraka. Sala ni fanya, noki ni haraka. Noki noki, haraka haraka. So he came and became a musician in Nairobi. Joseph Kabila joined his father in the liberation of his country, if you can call it so. He even had to go to China to train as a cadet officer. Then the father came, the adopted father became the president of DRC, Zaire, and he renamed it the initial name, which was, if you are talking French, you say RDC, but if you are talking in English, you say DRC. So he became the father became the president, and he was one of the Wadosis. It was around this time that General Matumuna was having problems in Nairobi and was thinking of going back home. But when he decided to go back home, he discovered that the family is the one which is ruling that country. He decided not to go. So he stayed in Nairobi. And then things happened. The Kabila Mzee was killed, and the generals then did not agree on which general to take over. But then they decided that a member of the family was the compromise person to take over. And that is how Joseph Kabila became the president, where he became the president after a person who was his adopted father, and also became a president of a country that basically he was not a citizen of that country. I say so because if we look at the American Constitution, it says that you can be an American citizen, yes, but for you to be the president of the USA, you have to be a naturally born person within USA. I think what they are trying to avoid is hii maneno ya kubadilisha watoto katika maternity. Maybe ulibadilishwa na you are not a genuine citizen of the USA. With those few remarks, I say, bandeko na biso nyonso tokomona na lobby soki zambe alingi. Merci.